So the default table that you get with a blank template has a certain number of columns here from A to G and a certain number of rows from 1 to 22. You can grab these handles here to the right, and there's one to the bottom, to get rid of extra columns or add new ones. So I'm going to grab this one here and drag to the left, and you can see I can remove columns. You can do the same thing here with rows. I can drag up to remove them. You can also add by dragging down. It'll add more, and I can add another one there like that. If there's data in the table already, so I can say add some numbers here, you can see how I could remove a blank column easily, but it won't let me remove a column with numbers in it, so I can't accidentally delete something. You can also resize the table by double clicking on the handle here at the top left. It's one way to grab it, and you see you have these little controls here that you could grab and resize things, and it's actually going to shrink the size of the column and rows there. So you typically don't want to do that because you don't want everything to be resized like that. What you typically want to do is grab the line in between columns. Like say if you wanted to make column C larger, I could grab the line there, click and drag just to increase the width of column C. If I wanted to change for a row, I grab the line in between say 1 and 2, and I could increase the size there as well. Another way to adjust the size of your table is make sure you're in the format bar on the right. So if you don't see it here, click on format to get to it. And then if you look under table, you'll see rows and columns. So if I wanted to remove a column, I can simply lower that number by 1. I can add more columns by increasing it, and I can go in there and type a number. So if I wanted to have 100 rows, I could just enter the number there, and you can see now the table extends all the way down to 100 rows. However, typically you want to keep the number of rows in your table restricted to how much data you have. So if you only have one row of data, you wouldn't have extra rows. There's no reason to have blank rows. And in that case, when you enter in data and you say hit return, you would normally go to the next row, but there isn't a next row. However, it will create one for you. So I will hit return here, and now you can see it has gone down and created row 5. I can hit return a bunch more times to create it. So I don't have to actually create these rows. I can just enter data in using tab to go across, then return, and then return again. So the first return accepted the number there, and the next return forced the addition of a new row. So that's the typical way you would add new rows, and you would keep your table really tight here with no additional columns, no additional rows, just what you need for your data, knowing that it's very easy to add columns and add rows as you go along.